Ladies and gentlemen, I have to make a video today that I actually didn't really want to even make. And this is going to be about Zenless Zone Zero, the rampant shilling that's been done for the newest units, and the ever-growing difficulty of its endgame modes to the point where it's becoming more and more inaccessible unless you want to go ahead and play the game like it's a job, or just pull the newest units. And this is the thing. It's about Yixuan today. It's about the new Shiyu defense. It's probably about a mechanic that's going to be in the newest Deadly Assaults as well later on in the patch. And I've been warning people about this for the longest time. And the only thing that has been occurring is people going ahead, being super elitist about the game, telling me that, oh, you just suck, and that's why you think HP inflation's a problem, and they're not taking anything very seriously at all in the community. As I've constantly said, day after day, video after video, that the game is slowly becoming Honkai Star Rail due to its rampant power creep, HP inflation, and every single new character being endlessly shilled in the endgame content, and the content becoming super fucking unmanageable and a complete pain in the ass unless you decide to pull them. And it appears, ladies and gentlemen, that this is exactly what is taking place in Zenless Zone Zero 2.0 based off of early access footage for the game by multiple CCs that has been verified by those multiple CCs. And so what I wanted to do today was actually get right on into it, see some of the summaries that individuals who are also concerned about the game's path have been sharing, and the overall community response to what is undeniably some of the worst shit that could have ever happened to this game. So with that, let's go ahead and start reading this post. Yixuan strength from what I gathered. Is she Miyabi strength? Not for now, since she doesn't have her best in slot teammate. Yes, that is because she has a 4-star character, the panda, that she's actively being used with. They don't have the 5-star version of the panda, who's apparently one of like her best overall buffers, her best overall teammates. Miyabi has multiple best in slot partners depending on the type of team she's being played in, and so I guess that's the reason why people are saying that Yixuan isn't as strong as her. Oh, so naturally it can't be that much of a problem, right? Oh, like Yixuan isn't going to power creep Miyabi. That's the narrative that's going on right now. So this guy goes into like a bit of a breakdown. We'll be looking at Apel's vid later, just talking about how like the scores that you're getting on certain teams, and that, you know, the 47k score that they're talking about with 2 A ranks, which is pretty good, is not even against one that's weak to Ether in the first place, and so that score should be close to like 55k, 60k once it comes out. And they also don't have certain buffs that should be active that will boost the scores even further. Then they start with the conclusion over here that once Jufufu is on banner in the second phase of 2.0, then Yixuan should just absolutely obliterate the Deadly Assault. So now that we've gotten into that quick summary of the performance, let's look at the overall conclusion based off of something that we're going to be seeing in Shiyu defense: Miasma enemies. From the looks of it, you will lose almost all damage for like 20 to 25 seconds if you do not have a Rupture Agent. Yixuan is a Rupture Agent. Therefore, I expect the clear times for normal agents, who are not Rupture, will be abysmal. The new enemies also resist ice by 40%, probably one of the biggest resistances that have ever been in the game, and therefore Miyabi will not be able to just face tank it. To sum it up, everyone will be fucked except Yixuan. From clear time, Yixuan with 2 A ranks can clear the new Shiyu boss in sub 1 minute, so she'll be the best for sure. And what is something that I've talked about before, ladies and gentlemen, in the Shiyu defense? You have one team that's Giga invested, aka your Miyabi team. That team clears excessively fast, and then that allows your other team, which isn't shilled out by pulling the newest character, to clear in like 3, maybe 4 minutes, and you still get your S rank. I talked about that a lot, how Miyabi back in the day would drag a lifeless corpse of your other team over the finish line, and it looks like, based off of this whole miasma mechanic that these devs have decided to add in, Yixuan is going to be doing the carrying now. Other agents with element neutral will most likely fall in the 150 to 2 minute mark, even with optimal sweaty play. And let us not even talk about the new DA boss. That motherfucker for sure will be the most Yixuan shill of all shills. I also expect more Rupture bosses to come into the rotation in 2.1 and so on. And so investing in Yixuan's potential is probably good. So investing in Yixuan is pretty much going to be highly recommended if you don't want to have an awful time in this game mode. Or I guess game modes. And apparently, guys, Yixuan's signature is a 35% damage increase over the R5 free-to-play craftable and even the R5 Battle Pass weapon. The signature in a game where you can lose the 75-25 is apparently a 35% increase over the free-to-play option. Hey guys, how good does that standard unit and that standard 5-star W engine, which doesn't include a Rupture W engine, how good does that sound? Would you rather have had 25 pulls, 25 limited pulls instead, knowing this? If you had known about this, you'd probably have preferred 25 limited pulls instead. Oh, wait, sorry, ZZZ's got the best anniversary rewards in gacha history. My bad, boys. Yeah, my bad, boys. This is based off the calculations that have been in the early access CC guides. Was I just doom posting? Was I just hating the game? Or is it now abundantly clear that I made these videos, I made this content out of concern for this fucking game and the trajectory that it was going down? And all you guys wanted to do was just stand back, say skill issue, as the game proceeds to do some of the most predatory shit it's ever fucking done. Now it's not just the enemies, it's the W engines being absurdly fucking powerful, way more powerful than any other option, just like how it was with Miyabi, because she's a fucking crit-based anomaly, and there's no other fucking crit-based anomalies in the game, and so if you don't use Miyabi's W engine, she feels like fucking shit. And now Yixuan, introducing a whole new Rupture class, has some dog shit free-to-play craftable options, and apparently the Battle Pass one isn't very good either. And if that wasn't enough, now you have Miasma enemies who will just sit there and cause you to deal no damage for 20 to 25 seconds unless you have a Rupture agent on your team. So, we've taken a look at it. We've talked about what all the issues are, what people should have a lot of reasons to be upset about. Why don't we just go ahead and take a look at some of the gameplay and see what this Miasma mechanic actually looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what it looks like. Let's look at one example. Let's see what she looks like with some A ranks in Shiyu defense, and then let's see what it looks like in Deadly Assault. Let's check it out. And again, credits to Apol for curating this gameplay. Let's just see what the clear times are. And I do believe this is the enemy that has the Miasma. Let's notice how the damage numbers are hidden. I do believe that the ZZZ early access CCs were told to hide damage numbers, especially when they were doing comparisons of damage between different W engines, so that it wouldn't become super clear the massive disparity in damage between the signature W engine and the free-to-play options. So, yeah. I do believe that in every single early access footage, the damage is invisible. Clearly, right? Because they don't want it to be too on the nose, the difference. And so, yeah, we have the Miasma mechanic over here, right? Oh, this boss has iframes too. We got the Miasma mechanic over here, right? And you're clearly seeing, right, that the damage is really not that great, and then a huge chunk of it occurs. And the boss gets broken as well once you break that Miasma barrier. And I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, look how much damage is being done once the Miasma is broken. He's completely obliterated. And when you're looking at this clear, right, how do you think that Miasma goes down? How do you think that Miasma ends up going down? With a Rupture agent. With a Rupture agent. And then once all of that stuff is ready to go, the boss just gets fucking obliterated. Let's just see again how fast it disappears once the Miasma's gone. Do keep in mind, it took us around 40 seconds to do half its HP with the Miasma up. It's at about half HP. Right? Honestly, we got 17 seconds left for a 1 minute clear. And then once it's broken, look at the time that it's taking. Because we broke the Miasma, it takes us around 12 seconds to deal half the boss's HP. It takes us 12 seconds to deal half the boss's HP following Miasma breakdown. And Rupture Agents with sheer force are the fastest way to break down Miasma. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Night Soul mechanic all over again. Except this time, instead of being able to use elemental reactions like burning or quicken to be able to break down Night Soul barriers, there's nothing. You can only use Rupture Agents. And so, now let's do a bit of a comparison. And just as a quick note, when it comes to the damage numbers, it does appear that I Win to Lose is actually showing his. So maybe it's just a creative decision by certain CCs to hide the numbers. All right, we're back from our break, and ladies and gentlemen, it turns out we were not able to find any footage of DPSs other than Yixuan clearing the newest Shiyu boss. The closest thing we could actually find was somebody just taking Ellen teams, the reworked one, into Deadly Assault, but there's no footage at all of any other character fighting against this Miasma situation in the Shiyu defense. And the reason for that is pretty goddamn simple, because what we're able to actually do here is take a look at some of the gameplay in these clears provided by Apple and actually break down what this Miasma is actually going to do to agents that aren't Rupture. So let's just take a look at this gameplay really slowly. I'm actually going to play it in about 0.75. We'll maybe go slower. And hopefully this will illustrate to all of you why this claim that you will lose almost all damage for 20 to 25 seconds if you don't have a Rupture agent actually makes a lot of sense. So we're on Yixuan over here, right? We switch over to Caesar and then press our EX skill. Let's take a look at both the Miasma bar as well as the HP bar of this boss. We hit and deal absolutely no damage. Our EX skill did 0 damage to its HP. Actually, I think I can see like a millimeter. That's probably less than a millimeter of movement on the HP. And we did that much damage to its Miasma. Second stab, another microscopic reduction in its health and slightly more of the Miasma bar going down. Then we go on to the Panda, our defense agent. And we press his EX skill. Let's see it. Let's see it. I didn't even see the Miasma bar move. The fact of the matter is that every agent that isn't Rupture deals depressingly low amounts of damage to the Miasma bar and deal no damage at all to its HP. This essentially just gives them, I assume, like 95% damage reduction from a shit ton of defense as long as the Miasma is up. And Rupture agents do two things. They ignore defense and also deal increased damage to the Miasma. So look how Yixuan does in comparison. Look how fast she does damage to both bars. We're on to her. HP goes down, Miasma goes down. They're going down super fast. And then once the Miasma bar is completely filled, well, you can just imagine what happens, right? Let's see what occurs. We're shredding it with Yixuan and actually dealing damage. No other teammate is able to deal damage while it's up. We deal a burst of damage and then also break the enemy after the Miasma disappears too. I thought breaking the enemy was supposed to be the job of stun characters, but instead, Rupture agents against these bosses stun them and also deal damage to them. Against this enemy type in particular, Rupture agents are both a DPS and a stun character. And guess what's gonna be in Shiyu defense and Deadly Assault for the next couple of months? Guys, why do you think I made all these videos? Do you genuinely think that I hate the game? That I'm just trying to doom post the game? that I'm trying to make people think that the game is awful and terrible? Or is it simply me recognizing that the game was going down an awful fucking path with the release of Hoshimi Miyabi, who essentially, if you weren't willing to spend time playing this game like a job, was basically required to be able to clear the endgame content? And now this character, without a fucking doubt, is. Because holy moly, if this is what non-Rupture Agents are doing to its fucking shield, let's just play it back one more fucking time because it's so egregious. Brother, you're cooked. You're cooked, brother. Look, that was an EX skill. That's the second stab of the... You're cooked. What are you going to do? Unless you pull her. That did no damage either. Maybe that's why the damage numbers were hidden. Wait, now I gotta see I win to loses. Hey, he's actually... He's... Oh, he wasn't allowed... I see. If you're in the Shiyu defense, you're not allowed to show damage numbers. You're only allowed to show damage numbers in Deadly Assault against non-Miasma bosses. So maybe it wasn't actually because of the W engine comparisons. It was because they didn't want to show the fact that if the boss has Miasma, your characters deal no damage to it. And I win to lose. The only footage he's showing over here is against non-Miasma bosses in Deadly Assault. He actually doesn't get into the Shiyu defense clears. I'm beginning to see what restrictions Hoyo has placed on their early access CCs. They don't want people to know about this. They don't want people to know how predatory and how shilled the game has become with the integration of this dog shit Miasma mechanic. If you're looking for an example of what an actual stun agent like Koleda will do to this boss, we got some gameplay footage of that as well. So we got her coming in with her EX skill, massive hit, does about 5% of the Miasma bar. Now, let's see the follow-up. This is going to be Yixuan's ultimate. How are you supposed to play this game without her? Why is the stun agent both dealing no damage and then also not breaking the stun bar? And this Rupture Agent is dealing both damage and then also breaking the stun bar at the same time. Are these bosses racist against non-Chinese characters? Because it seems like all of the Rupture Agents seem to be Chinese. What do you do? What do you do? This is unbelievable. This is crazy. This is some of the worst monetization practices I've ever seen in a game. And I have been warning you people about this. When was the first fucking video I made about this whole situation? When was the first video? I've been warning you all about this for at least 3 months. Surely it's been at least 3 months. It's 2 months ago. My video, ZZZ is the new HSR. I've been warning you idiots about this for 2 fucking months. Nobody listened. So yeah, I guess that'll be that. I guess that will be that, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, this overview, whatever it is, this whole breakdown that we have going on over here, hopefully it's made it a lot more clear the massive issues that are going to be coming to this game in version 2.0. Hopefully, after this, people will begin understanding why people are saying ZZZ is now the new HSR. That it's overly shilling different characters. That it is making it a requirement to pull on their limited banners. Otherwise, you're just in store for one of the worst experiences in gacha gaming. Hopefully, it's been a lot more clear. And I'm only doing this. I've only made this content for one simple reason. Because I actually thought that the game was pretty good. I actually thought that the game had a lot of potential. I had fun playing parts of it. Playing a lot of it, actually. But this, to me, this doesn't look fun. This doesn't look fun unless I have Yixuan. This looks fucking terrible if I don't have this character. And if I do have her, it's gonna feel terrible not using her fucking signature because I'm gonna have 35% less damage. And hopefully, maybe after this, maybe after 2.0, fuck it, maybe after 2.1, this community will open their eyes to the fucking disaster that is unfolding in front of their faces. Because it's been happening since the release of Hoshimi Miyabi, but everyone put the blinders on and said it was okay, she's a void hunter. Great. Go void hunt your fucking way out of this shit, idiots. So with that, let me know what you all think. Peace.